Namaste yogis. Welcome to your Wednesday warm-up. I'm Carter and today's practice is a yin practice. So you may need a blanket, pillow, bolster, or block to support your body. Get those items and let's get to our mat. All right, yogis, I have a bolster and a block, and I'm going to utilize these through my practice, and you could always substitute the bolster with a pillow or the blanket. And we're going to start with the soles of our feet together. And we're going to begin with the hands behind us, and we're going to start to draw the shoulder blades together. We're going to lift the chin and find the extension and length through the spine. You could also walk your hands a little bit closer towards one another. And you're pressing down through the hands as if you're bringing the hips up off of the ground, but you're not. You're going to keep them down. And then you can scoot those heels a little bit closer towards you if you need it. Start to bring your awareness to the length of the spine and the softness of the legs. And then draw the chin a little bit towards the chest. Walk the hands a little bit closer towards the hips. And then you start to lean forward. So if your shoulders don't pass your hips, you may want to keep the hands behind you. And if your shoulders do come a little bit farther forward, you could always take the hands to the feet, ankles, or shins. I'm going to give you a lot of variations in the pose, and we're going to be here for a few moments, so we have plenty of time. We're starting to draw the belly button towards the heels. Let's start with a straight spine. So as you lean forward, you'll start to feel that sensation. Could be groins, creases of the hips, and lower back. Now this is where you could use your blocks, bolsters, and pillows, your devices to help you modify where you're at and support you. Now if you're really tight in the groins, you can just slide these items underneath the knees or thighs. That'll give you a chance to relax the groins and hinge forward. This is one option. If this feels right, this is your spot where you're just going to breathe and soften. Now, if you're needing a little bit more, you can come forward and maybe you bring the bolster and block out in front of you. So you can bring it up like here and here. And you can come forward and down. It all depends on the flexibility of the body, but once you get into the spot where it's just right, use these devices. Now, you don't necessarily need it. You could stay right here, and you can just hold on to the feet and tuck the chin and allow yourself to find that sensation. Now, through our yin practice, we're trying to find a sensation where we can manage, and that it's not too much and not too little, but we do want to find a little bit of stillness within the body. If you're here and you feel like you need to find the edges, you're always welcome to bring the elbows out towards the knees, inner thighs, or calves, and press not only down, but out, and then down as you come a little bit farther forward. And one of the important parts of our yin practice is focusing on the parts of the body that aren't working and that you could soften. The parts that are probably the easiest, it's the forehead, it's the jaw, it's the eyes, it's the senses that sometimes start to overwork when our body's under a little stress or tension. So give yourself a moment to soften the face. From there, can you relax the shoulders? Then after the toes and the hands are all relaxed, then you start to move towards the parts of the body that are working, where you feel the most sensation. Now for me, in this pose, it's groins and it's lower back and it's creases of the hips. Now, I can soften, doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to go any farther or the sensation's going to even do less. I'm just letting my body unwind at its own pace. A couple things that we look at is the stillness and the quiet. Stillness of the body, the quietness of the mind. And we breathe. And we let go of those things that we've been lugging along with us throughout not only our day, but our entire lives. Our practice is an opportunity for us to put those things down, see what it feels like to not have them on our back. And then we make the decision after practice, do I want to pick them up again? Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. Sometimes it's like, no, I don't need to carry that, and then tomorrow or the next day we don't even realize that we picked it back up. And then another option to do this practice again, right? Over and over and over, to make sure that we know that we can let go of these things. Last exhalation, if you want to press it a little bit here, now is your chance. Inhale, nice and slowly, come on up. Let's take the right shin and bring it in front of the left shin. You can scoot those feet and shins forward and back, depending on what kind of range of motion you're looking for. And if you're a little bit tighter in hips, you can take a block, or you can take this bolster, you can sit on it. And what happens when you sit on something that lifts the hips, the knees automatically start to open up. So it's a little bit more comfortable, gives the circulation a chance to move through the body. And if you're feeling like your hips are a little bit more open, you're always welcome to take the right shin and stack it on top of the left shin. So sitting on a block, it's a little too high for me. I'm not feeling enough. That's a little bit more intense, and I'm okay with that. So once you find the part of the sitting position that's comfortable, take the hands to the knees. Let's move the shoulders around a bit. And then we're going to open up through the hips here, but we're also going to do a little bit of the shoulders. So let's interlace our fingers behind our back. And you're going to start by squeezing the shoulder blades and elbows towards one another and lifting the heart. This may be enough. Next option would be the knuckles coming towards the ground or the floor. That may be enough. And if you want more through the shoulders, you can slide the arms off the lower back. And if you want more into the hips, you can hinge forward. Depending on your flexibility, you may be able to put a block or bolster underneath your forehead. Right? You can come forward and rest down here as the arms come off. If you're a little bit tighter, you may not be able to get down that far, and that's okay too. So find the variation of the asana that works. And once you're there, you can rotate the torso a little to the right as the arms drop to the right, and a little bit to the left. So you can kind of move from side to side. We're not going to keep these fingers interlaced for much longer because we're cutting off the circulation. And I don't mind cutting off circulation, but I don't necessarily want it too long. So wherever you are, release your hands and walk the hands out in front of you. And again, you may be able to go a little bit farther forward without the fingers interlaced, so you can take that block or bolster out in front of you. And rest down. Check in with the breath. Big inhale, slow exhale. I'm always okay with micro adjusting in the pose, meaning that if you're feeling like you need to get deeper, you can kind of do this little micro adjustment to get there. What I don't necessarily want in our yin practice is fidgeting. What is fidgeting? Fidgeting is this. Moving the hat, adjusting my shirt, taking care of my stuff. That's fidgeting. That's the nervous system not happy with the sensation in the body, and it needs to do something. So we try to resist the urge to fidget, and we respond with deep, full, mindful breaths. And again, softening jaw, forehead, softening thoughts, softening the breath, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the fingers and toes. A moment more. Each one of these poses, we stay in anywhere from 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 8 minutes. I guess like a little bit more traditional yin practice would be 8 minutes. And for a lot of us, it's usually like around the 4-minute mark where we're like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm ready to come on out. And that's the purpose. It's to, what do they say? It's not a yoga pose until you want to get out of it. So once we are wanting to get out of the pose, then the work begins. The breath, the softening, the awareness. Good news, we're almost there. Two more breaths, see if you can soften or press towards the sensation that's a little bit more intense. See what happens. Inhale. Hands under shoulders, gently lift yourself on up. Take your hands behind you, move your blocks, bolsters away from you. Lean back, really slowly unwind the legs and straighten the knees. Give the legs a little shake. Point and flex the feet a few times. Roll the ankles. Another support would be, and I didn't think of it prior, is a strap. So you can always use a strap as well. We're going to do a forward fold here. Now, I want you to know that you can lock the knees. That'll give you the sensation in the hamstrings. Or you can bend the knees. That'll go a little bit up towards the glutes and the lower back. So if you want to bend the knees, you can take your blanket bolster and roll it up and put it underneath the knees. And then you can lean forward this way. Or if you want to do straight knees, you can take your block bolster pillows and put it on the thighs and lean forward this way. So find the variation that works. You may have a little internal rotation of the thighs. You're not really reaching in this pose because we're going to be here for a while, so you just can soften into it. Now, if the knees are locked, I'd rather you have a spine that is fairly straight. Right? So mine's not completely straight, so I'm going to bring this bolster a little bit closer towards my belly so I can keep that spine erect. And then from here, you're just leaning towards sensation. And I would recommend that it's subtle sensation to start with because we're here for about 5 minutes. That subtle sensation usually, at least for me, becomes more and more intense as I stay there. You may start to realize there's other parts of the body that starts to show up as we stay. It's because the body is surrendering and softening. Big inhales, slow exhales. Be here now in this body with this sensation. Keeping in mind our yoga practice is a self-regulating practice. It's up to you to manage how much sensation is needed today. It may be very gentle, and it also could be very intense. We want to steer clear of pain, and we just want to find that sensation that challenges us in a way that allows us to figure out methods to manage sensation that is uncomfortable. This practice is not designed to make us flexible. It happens, but it's designed for intimacy. It's designed to help us manage the things that are uncomfortable. The flexibility is just a nice byproduct. That's why I don't call yoga stretching. Stretching happens because we are practicing intimacy, practicing movement and connection with body. Surrender. Do less. When you do less, you find more. Got 2 more breaths here. I personally like to, at the end of each asana, is to engage the body a little bit to see what my body is allowing me to do. So I press a little to find out what's there, and then when I'm ready, slowly bring myself on up. Move your blocks, bolsters, and then take your hands behind you, bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and just windshield wiper your knees right and left. You can always twist in the opposite direction of the knees, just making sure that everything is staying malleable. And then let's cross our left shin in front of our right shin. So we're just doing the other side. So options: blocks, bolsters, pillows underneath the thighs to support the knees. Right, that could be like here and here. Right. Blocks, bolsters, pillows underneath the sit bones. Looks like this. It's nice on the spine. Options of stacking left shin on top of right shin for double pigeon pose. And then shins either forward or back, getting the sensation that works best for you. And keep in mind, right side, left side, probably different. So you may do something different. That's cool. Once there, nice tall spine, interlace your fingers behind your back. Let's take the opposite thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, straighten the elbows. Maybe lift the heart. Maybe draw the arms off the lower back. Hinge at the waist if you need it. Stop when you feel like it's enough. If you're coming forward and you're like, ooh, I could use the block, or my forehead comes in, you just let go of it and bring the block out in front of you and lower the forehead down. Or you can hover off the ground. You got a couple breaths here. We're not going to stay the whole time with the hands interlaced, so you can draw the arms off the lower back and you can move the torso a little right and left. Think long neck, space between shoulders and ears. If you're starting to feel the tingling in the fingers, unfold the hands and extend them out in front of you. Elbows to a block, bolster, pillow, or the floor. Tuck the chin and soften. A few moments here. Relax the parts of the body that aren't working. Allow the breath to deepen. Inhalation, exhalation, maybe 2-3 times deeper than your normal breath. Allow the exhalation to soften the body. Allow the inhalation to elongate through the spine. Micro adjustments in a way that allows you to find all the sensations. So you can move the arms a little right, maybe a little left, as you move the torso around. Again, micro adjustments are different than fidgeting. The micro adjustments is moving the body in a way to find sensation, find the edges, doing more or less. Right? So if I'm here and my breath pattern is choppy or it's a little bit shallow, I may have to do a little less, and then I come out a little bit. that may be perfect and I can stay there, or if I'm like, well, I lost all the sensation, well, then I go back into it. It is a conversation you're having with the body. That's intimacy. I've been having a lot of people request yin practices, and this is a 20-minute yin, so as you're aware, we only did 3 poses, right? Cobbler's pose, cross-legged pose, and forward fold. And there's a lot of different asanas we could do, so I'll maybe doing another one, maybe even a little bit longer. So give me a little feedback. Let me know what you think of this practice, and if you want some more of these. All right, nice and slowly bring yourself on up. Take the hands to the knees or thighs, roll the shoulders around a bit. Move the head, right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. Head rolls back, wag the jaw, chin towards chest. Take a nice big inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth. Namaste. Nice work, yogis. If you like this practice, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to do a little, another extra 10-minute practice, you can click here. If you want to do an extra 30-minute practice, click here. It's always nice to kind of follow these yin practices with movement. Make sure you subscribe to my channel by clicking on my photo over here. Take care of yourself. I love you guys. Peace.